Hey everybody, welcome back to Slingin Dirt TV. This week on the show we got Kid Smooth Shane DeMay out of Crawford County Speedway.
And we spent all weekend at World of Wheels where we had a ton of fun with some good people.
Yep, that's right. We interviewed your friend John and threw you under the bus a few times.
A couple times, yeah.
Yep.
And then we also had Dan Riley, Lieutenant Dan.
Lieutenant Dan.
And he's still mad at me for beating him.
We talked to Precise, introduced ourselves to Precise Auto Race, the new parts supplier out of Bennington, Nebraska.
And we got the infamous Reverend Songer Says.
Songer Says. And we have the second ever Fan of the Week. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. Alrighty, welcome back to Slingin Dirt TV. Of course, I'm Buddy Ray, and who are you?
I'm JP3, Jack Carl III.
That's right, somebody we've never heard of. So anyways, this week on Slingin Dirt TV, tell you what, let's get right into it. We were telling everybody what we got going on. We got Kid Smooth Shane DeMay out of Crawford County Speedway. He's got a lot going on, so let's get into the interview and let's talk to old Kid Smooth.
I think you really enjoy Kid Smooth. He's a good racer, has some limited resources, but he does the best he can with what he's got, and he's obviously successful.
Better than us.
So let's go see Kid Smooth.
All right, welcome back to Slingin Dirt TV. Of course, I'm Buddy Ray. You know Jack Prawl, JP3 or whatever we call him from episode to episode. We got a special guest today. We got the one and only Kid Smooth Shane DeMay, driver of the 15M IMCA Modified. He races over at Shelby County Speedway, Crawford County Speedway. Shane, what's been going on here in the wintertime?
Oh, we're just putting together a new car over here and trying to get this one fixed up for next year.
You know, it seems to be a reoccurring theme. I don't know if you noticed this, Jack, but people are putting together cars, but we're not really getting to see them on camera. We're looking at last year's car.
Right, we get to see bits and pieces of lots of different things. I mean, I know mine's in bits and pieces. You're probably way ahead of the game, but we can see that you're behind the game.
There's not even a motor in this thing. Of course, the big 421 roller cam motor's probably sitting in the new car over here off camera shot. Talk about your 2014 season and where all you went and how'd you do?
I guess we started off the year with that 2013 DMR car, and it was going pretty good to begin with, and we ended up wrecking it out here at Denison. So we had to go back to this car, my previous year's car, a couple years ago.
Now, is this the car that Brandon Bachlinger drove at the Super Nationals that year?
No, that's the one that I wrecked.
Oh, I bet you cried when you wrecked that one.
Yeah, that was not a good deal.
That was not a good deal.
That was not
Yeah,
very
record's
happy.
never a good deal.
Talk about that relationship that you have with BMS, because as far back, even when you and I raced in the B mods or the Sport mods together, you always had a BMS car. I mean, if anybody was going to die, you know, a happy guy being the chat or the franchise driver of a certain company, it would be you in a BMS car. What is it about BMS cars?
I don't know. I guess it's just something we've had here, and I've had good luck with them, and ups and downs. I guess that's what we've stuck with.
What's your favorite thing about them?
I don't know. I guess they're just like any other car, race car, but we can usually make them go pretty good.
So is a BMS an underslung or overslung?
You can get either or now, but all of mine have been underslung.
Okay.
What do you prefer, overslung or underslung on your cars?
I guess I've only had one overslung car, and I would prefer an underslung just for the more support on the tail.
On the tail. Me and Jack, you know, we both race sport mods. We're not to your level yet. But with that being said, and I'm not even to Jack's level yet, more than likely. So, but with that being said, when you had the overslung and the underslung, did you see the tails were weaker or stronger, or just, you know, pretty much a wash?
It's probably more of just my preference, made me feel better. I knew there was something, you know,
holding your rear end.
So
yeah,
it's more of a safety aspect than a seat of the pants feel thing, because you know, overslung chassis tend to hike up more in the rear, where underslungs don't usually hike up until they hit the bottom bar, and
then you cut it off. And
then you just cut it off. I mean, you get that travel. So, what's your plans for 2015?
Hopefully we're gonna get this new car done here and run Denison and Harlan. I don't know. I heard Fort Dodge was gonna open, so we may go up there some. And hopefully we're gonna hit some USMTS races.
USMTS. You're gonna go with the big boys.
Yep.
What brought that on?
They kind of brought back the rules a little bit, so it's more, I don't know, doable for us to do with an IMCA type car. And since they let us run the quick change in IMCA, it's kind of, I don't know, it's easier to do. All you got to do is change tires and some other minor things.
Now, you mentioned the quick change. What are you running this year? Are you going to run the 9-inch or the quick change?
I've bought a quick change for this new car, and we're going to see how that goes before I buy another one for this one. I'm going to leave the 9-inch in this car.
What do you think of that rule change? Are you for it or against it, or are you staying neutral at this time?
I'm really for it because it's so much easier to change gears. And
I would think so. I wish we could do that.
Well, I don't do that. My crew guy Fred does that.
Right.
'Cause, I mean, he's only 4'5" and weighs about 60 pounds, so he can stand up underneath the car on jack stands, and he's like, "I got it, bud." Okay.
Well, Buddy was telling me on the way up here that he used to run sport mods too.
yeah.
There's a lot of argument over which one's harder to drive. It takes more driver to drive versus the car. Settle the bet.
I guess back when I raced sport mods, they did things a lot different than we do now. Like back then, you could run like the J-bar and sliders and spring pole bars and all that stuff. So it was kind of more of an open deal then anyway. But now, before the crate, you actually had to, have throttle control and, a little bit of a driver to drive the car. That's kind of the downside of the crate. It's more cost effective, but it's less of a driver thing, I think.
I've actually been told that if you take today's sport mod and you want to jump up to an IMCA A mod, you've got a crate sport, you want to go to a 604 crate and an A mod, that the cost, initially is there to get started in the 604 crate, but once you get running, the costs are actually cheaper. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, because like the crate deal, you don't use as much fuel and it's just not as hard on things. They're just no maintenance to them. I mean, you just change the oil and...
Now, do you think that's because of the rev limiters being chipped at a certain RPM and this mandated gears you have to run with those motors that it saves it?
Well, yeah, the 6,400 RPM is going to save a lot of stuff. It's just not near as much stress on everything. I think that helps.
So this year, we went into, you're going to be maybe going to Fort Dodge, you're going to be running Harlan, Shelby County Speedway, Crawford County Speedway here in Denison. Each year when you go racing, you and I have known each other for a long time, but I've noticed through the years that you have certain tracks that you really like going to. And I was actually watching one on YouTube today where you're down at Thunder Hill, down in Mayetta. So which tracks do you actually like to go to and why?
I guess one of my favorite places is Fort Dodge. And I guess I grew up racing there. That's the first place I ever raced. Like a B-mod or anything, really. It's just a fun track. It's always pretty smooth. It's well taken care of. Yeah, like Mayetta, Thunder Hill. I usually go to that special at the end of the year down there. It's a good surface. They're good people down there. They take care of you. I don't know. I like Harlan too. It's also one of my favorite places. I don't care. I like racing. I'll go anywhere.
So, speaking of Harlan, I want to touch on maybe a touchy subject with people. Now, JP3 here, Jack Prawl, doesn't really race in Iowa. And it's not that you don't choose to with your work schedule outside of racing.
Right.
You just don't have the time to come to Iowa.
Right.
Now, me, I'm kind of in the middle of all the racetracks. I can go pretty much wherever I go on Fridays and Saturdays. With that being said, when we go back to Western Iowa, of course, we have new management basically at Denison. We have a new track promoter over at Shelby County. Do you think that's going to be really good? I think it is, but I wanted to hear your opinion. I mean, you race both those tracks, and you're known to be outspoken.
Let her rip.
Well,
Let her rip.
hopefully I can race at Denison this year, and they actually know how to treat people. But yeah, I think it's going to be a good deal for both places. I think Brett's going to do a good job down in Harlan, and I think they ought to have a better shot out here now in Denison. with their new people that they're going to bring in.
What do you think of the new schedule at Denison this year? Is there not a little bit of something for everybody on that schedule?
Yeah, they got the World of Outlaw sprint cars. They got the USMTS, the Deary Brothers show, I think.
Yeah, the Deary Brothers, April 4th. Do you plan on racing in the USMTS race here in front of your home crowd?
Yeah, I actually do. I plan on getting one of these cars set up to go for that.
You just don't know which one yet.
I don't know which one.
You better get busy.
Yeah, you better get busy. I tell you what, let's talk about your sponsors. You've always had a long list of sponsors. Maybe you can teach Jack and I something about sponsors. So.
No kidding.
Yeah, I guess some of the local ones around here is Dennison Auto and Machine. He usually helps me out. Russ down there, he takes care of me pretty good. Napa in Dennison, he usually also does quite a bit of help for us. BSB Manufacturing, Jay Neal down there, he helps us out with a lot of suspension stuff, and I run a lot of his parts. BMS, I mean, they help me out with the cars and stuff. I guess Lundell Plastics, my boss, he really helps me out. He lets me go racing kind of when we
Yeah, it's always good when you
That's
got a
always
boss.
nice. My boss lets me go racing.
Yeah, that's one of the good things about where I work. He usually lets me go when I want to go.
Well, anything else you want to throw out there? I tell you what, how can people follow Shane DeMay Racing?
Yeah, that's it.
On Facebook, we have a separate page, Shane DeMay Racing on Facebook. I guess I have Twitter. I don't use it very much. I don't even know my name on there. I think it's Shane DeMay.
You think it's Shane DeMay? Twitter's going to be blown up now looking for Shane DeMay.
Trending Shane DeMay.
Trending Shane DeMay. You going to be racing Boone this year?
I think so. I'm not real sure. We're actually gonna hit like some more bigger races this year. We're gonna try to get back to Vegas again, and here in March we're gonna try to go to Batesville, Arkansas. They've got a modified championship race down there, pretty big deal. We're gonna try to get that car ready for that race on March 19th, I believe.
Oh, okay.
Wow, so you got to really get busy.
Yep.
So when you, being the big time Shane DeMay driver that you are, and you're going to Vegas and Arkansas, do we get to go in the big toter and the hauler and the big fancy trailer you got out the side that I couldn't see when I drove by here?
Yeah, we'll even,
We'll scrape mud for you.
Yeah, we'll scrape mud for some beer and chips maybe.
I think we could arrange something like that.
I tell you what, folks, when you're at the racetrack, if you're ever at Crawford County Speedway, you're at Shelby County Speedway. I know he goes to the Cornhusker Classic or the Tiny Lund. You always look up Shane DeMay. Fun time. You're one of the funnest guys I know at the track. There's always a party rocking at Shane DeMay's trailer. And if you ever make Boone, you definitely want to look up this guy, because him and you and your crew, you like to throw down at Super Nationals. That is,
You've been there.
Yeah.
They don't call him smooth for nothing.
Yeah, they don't call him smooth for nothing. We're not talking about his driving style. So. Well, Shane, thanks for doing the interview, and we're glad to come up here. And now he might have 3 more fans. So
Yeah, maybe.
So, well, that's it for Slingin Dirt TV with Shane DeMay, and we're gonna head back to the studio.
Tell you what, old Kid Smooth. It's pretty impressive, as young as Kid Smooth is, what he's got going. He's got 2 A mods there. You and I can barely afford the 2 sport mods we have, let alone brand new BMS cars. He's going to be going to Fort Dodge. He's going to be running Crawford County, Harlan. I know he goes to Mayetta, stuff like that. So I could only dream of being in Kid Smooth's position.
Well, I can say he has done a lot with the little time that he
And
has,
little
and the
resources.
resources that he has. So he's humping and bumping to get things done and get his name out there, and he's obviously successful at it because he's been winning.
If you could ever give Kid, as a veteran driver yourself, and I'm a veteran driver, what is something that you could offer advice for him on his race program? I have a great piece of advice for Kid Smooth.
I'm not going to race wherever he is. I know that because he'll kick my rear end. But his advice as a veteran driver, you just got to nut and bolt check him. Don't overlook anything. Keep your program the same so that you're consistent.
Well, I used to race against Kid Smooth back in the B-Mod days, and he was really good. And he's got a good program underneath of him now for what limited resources he has. The only piece of advice I'm going to get him: Shane DeMay. I want you to go to the TSC, Bumgars, Walmart, Ace True Value. Shoot, Goat Steve Reeds probably has one in his garage. Go buy a better heater.
Yeah, no doubt about that. That is for sure, because I was shivering in that place.
I bet, I mean, if you guys go back here on the YouTube show and you rewind it, you'll probably see the breath come. Shane, no wonder he's got nice cars. He doesn't believe in heat.
Yeah, no kidding.
I mean, we're old.
Yeah, well, you know what it is. You know how it is. He's got to save every penny you can. It goes to the car, not to the heater. So.
Yep, absolutely. Tell you what, I look forward to seeing Shane at the tracks. Can't wait to see him in a USMTS car. That ought to be really, really special, especially for his hometown crowd there in Denison, Iowa. So I tell you what, we're going to take a break. We're going to go see if we found someone to help pay the bills. Say a little adage to our sponsors. We'll be right back. Well, we're back. You know, thank God we're back for at least week 2 or 3 or whatever week this is. Week 3.
They let us back in the building. That's always good.
Yep. Tell you what, here a week or 2 ago, we were over at the World of Wheels. Had an amazing time. Met a lot of people. Met a lot of potential sponsors for our cars and the show here in Slingin Dirt. Talked to a lot of great people. We have the first, I guess you'd call it Joe's Cam.
Joe's Cam is active and live, and we did the first one, and it turned out to be pretty good, I think.
We had a few people, you know, later on down the road here in Slingin Dirt, we'll actually go back to that Joe's Cam, and you're going to see some funny stuff. So I tell you what, we talked to your buddy John.
Yep, he just happened to wander by, and lo and behold, he got shoved into the booth. He got the first victim, and then we also had Dan Riley walk by.
Lieutenant Dan, he, straight off his shrimping trip with Bubba Forrest Gump.
He's a modified racer out of Bennington. We've both raced against him throughout the years. And then also we were happened to be parked next to the Precise trailer.
The Precise Auto Racing.
So we got to do some real good things with them, and we interviewed them. So coming up, that's what you're going to see. So enjoy the World of Wheels.
Hey everybody, so this is Buddy Ray. We're at the 2015 O'Reilly Auto Parts World of Wheels. And what's your name?
John Rowe.
John Rowe on the first ever Joe's Karting Street Cam right here. So John, you ever been to Joe's Karting?
I have not.
You know my co-host JP3 Jack Prawl.
Yes.
He's pretty slow.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Slow.
So I tell you what, but he said you're awful slow too, and I just wanted to find out how awful slow you were. So I tell you what, in my hand I got 3 free race cards to Joe's Karting.
All right.
Now here's what we're gonna do. You want these?
You know, I beat him in a go-kart before. Like at
Okay,
least twice.
Super Mario Karts don't count.
Oh, we were in Albuquerque, right?
Albuquerque.
So,
Did he
yeah.
take the wrong turn?
Yeah.
Get it?
I had to
Wrong
remind him the gas is on the right. It was
Oh,
really
okay. So,
we got
you want
Joe's
these?
Karting.
Nope. You got to earn these. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna play a little trivia. For each question that you get right, I'm gonna give you a free race. So there's 3 races up for grabs.
Okay.
All right. Question number 1, first trivia question. What does the sanctioning body USRA stand for?
USRA. I should know this.
You should know
Very
this.
blank.
Don't you race?
I did, yes.
You race and you don't know what USRA stands
No,
for?
I can't think of it right now.
Well,
I guess I don't get that one.
you ain't getting that
United
part.
States. What is it? USRA.
USRA.
Racing Association.
Oh, you sneaked by.
United States Racing Association.
There you go. There you
I
go.
just
That'll
remembered
book.
it.
Yep,
just
there you
came to
go.
me. I've never
All
been on like big time TV show, and I just like drew a blank. So I get one. There's one.
First of all,
You can't take.
we
it
are
back,
not big
right?
time TV show.
You can't take it. Obviously, Jack's running the camera. So.
Yeah, Jack's manning the camera, so that tells you we can't afford good help. All right.
All right,
So,
next.
second
All right, I got
question.
one.
Close your
You
eyes.
can't have it back. Really?
Yeah, close your eyes.
Don't trust you.
Don't trust me, but close your eyes. All right. Now, I want you to tell me what this part is. All right, go ahead. Go ahead. Open it up. You can look. What is that part? Is that a reciprocating flux capacitor?
No.
Is that an Irish horseshoe ring?
No.
But what is it? Come on. You're a racer. You race dirt. You wreck cars.
Yeah.
You do it
I-
nicely.
I do it nicely.
Ironically, I'll give you credit. You finish higher up in the feature than Jack does. So you should know that.
It is for the. Is that part of the pylon for the start finish? The
Nope. Is that your final answer? Come on, John. It's round.
oh, it goes. It is a carburetor air cleaner cover, air cover. Is it an air cover?
In what
No.
country? Poland?
No, I don't know.
This
that.
is not a Polish air cleaner.
I didn't say a Polish air cleaner. It goes on the top when you take the air cover off. It's not right.
You'll have
No.
to.
What is it?
This is actually a spring cup for a modified.
I don't drive modified.
I know, but you're a race car fan. You should
I
know
should
that. So that
Sorry, that's gone.
one's out the window.
Sorry.
Seriously.
All right.
So what else?
He doesn't really wreck, so I've never seen him have to take
Where-
the
where-
spring off.
Where
so.
do you race at?
I've raced at 80, never raced at Eagle.
Race at I-80?
Yep.
What class?
4 cylinders.
Sport
Hornets.
compact?
Yep.
All right. Well, I tell you what. We're going to pull some. Close your eyes again. We're going to pull another part. I like this. I
All
want
right.
to see what you're going to think. All right. Got your eyes closed?
Yep.
All right. Handle this bad boy. Go ahead. What is that? That is not a redneck cup holder, I will tell you that right now. It is not a hillbilly cigarette holder either. You do not put cigarettes and put a can of beer in there. That's not what it's for.
Put a can of beer.
Although with that swivel
I
bearing
have
in there,
nev-
I mean, think about it. You could put 6 Marlboros and a can of beer in there and swing it
I
around.
kind of like it. Can I win this if I guess what it is and I can take it home?
No, yeah, you can't win that. That's
Put that
actually
in my, can I
that's
put that
actually
in my
from-
man cave there?
put it in your man cave.
I'm-
Actually, there's from Razor Chassis. That should give you a hint.
Yeah.
You heard of Razor Chassis?
Yes, I have.
What do they do?
They build the main. Razors are one of the most popular chassis for the sport modified cars.
Yep, there you go. So what is that? Come on, you
there
got.
it is. That's part. It goes right down by the axe. It's either part of the rear end or.
Well, so now we know you're into the rear ends.
It's amazing how you just go right there, right?
Yeah. Well, hey, you're the one always bringing it up the rear, so. I mean, when you're starting in the A feature. in
I
the rear-
don't. Am I close? I'm thinking.
Here's
rear
John
axle.
coming from the rear.
I'm thinking rear end rear axle. I've honestly never seen this part. Rear end rear axle or part of the front steering system.
You know, I'm actually going to give that to you because you don't
Because
drive.
it attaches right to the side of the It's not
Yep.
the U joint. No, but
No,
further
it's
back
no,
in.
no, it's
part
not
of
a
the
U
rear-
joint.
It's part of the rear end
It's
system.
part of the rear end system. This would be
Part
a
of
bird
the rear end
cage.
system. The
This,
what?
this would be a bird
A
cage.
bird cage. Okay.
Yep, this would actually be your bird cage.
So
and you
that's
lock
maybe
it
a
up.
half. But I get a half a race for that.
Well, I'll work on something with you.
That
So
sport mod. Yeah, again,
there you go.
never had a sport mod, so I haven't really had a.
No.
I haven't got to tear them down before.
Well,
so.
no, and that's fine. Your sport compact
But-
goes faster than Jack Pearl's sport mod.
Well, yeah, that was a lot of drivers stuff to do with the driver, though. So you know.
Well, yeah, that's all driver. That's all that is. So I tell you, what do you think here of the World of Wheels?
I like it. Was here last year. Love the variety and
I
get to
tell
see
you
a little
what.
bit of everything. So
I have a redeeming question. One last question, and you
Okay.
can redeem this free race.
okay,
Put your thinking cap on. Question is, what car is better looking, Buddy Ray's or Jack Prall's?
Really?
Really?
I like the whole deer thing. That's the thing.
Yeah, but
I like the whole deer thing.
so
I'm
deer.
gonna have to say Fear the Deer. I'm sorry, the 44.
Well, there goes that free
All
race.
right.
So that's 1 for Jack, 0 for Bud.
All right.
So,
Well, thanks
all
for having
right,
me on
I
the show.
appreciate it.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Thank you.
Thanks for the race.
Hey, we're on top of the Precise Racing Parts trailer here at the World of Wheels, and we've got Jeff. And how do you pronounce your last name?
Kolish.
Kolish?
Kolish, like
Kolish.
Polish, but with a K.
Is that like a Polish name derived from people that actually know how to read and write?
Something
Polish,
like that. I really
Polish,
don't know
something
how to read and write, though.
Yeah, I'd have to go ask Kaziskis over here. They're Polish, so that's a in-house joke with the Kaziskis a little bit. So, anyways, what do you guys think of the World of Wheels over here in Omaha?
Good. This is the first time I've actually really been to do one of these World of Wheel shows. We've been trying to do it for a while here, and a lot of good stuff out here in Omaha. This is the first time I've ever been this west.
Now, Precise, formerly known as Smiley's Racing Products, I believe it was Smiley's Racing Products. You guys are new into the Omaha market. We're glad to have you. You guys have got a lot of cool stuff down here at the parts trailer. I've been watching a lot of people come over to Precise and whatnot. What's the welcoming wagon been like for you guys here in the Omaha market?
So far, it's been pretty good. We've been out here. You know, we opened up January 2nd was our first day. We got a couple guys out here that worked in other stores out here, and so far it's been pretty good. A lot of guys showed up at our open house up there in Bennington and had a pretty good turnout. So here at World of Wheels, we're getting a lot of good feedback from some of the drivers, and you know, they're seeing who we are, seeing what we got, checking stuff out. It seems to be pretty good so far. So it's been interesting.
I tell you what, we're just about out of powder here out of power on the camera here. Tell you what, real quick, how can people get a hold of Precise? Where are you guys located at?
We're located in Bennington, Nebraska, North 153rd Circle. Rogers Transmission Shop's up there from Eagle. So
Auto Transmatic, yep.
Yep. We're right next door to him, so they can get a hold of us up there. Otherwise, we'll have to get you a hotline number here. I'm not real sure of it off the top of my head. So
Yeah, 1-800-HELP, something like that.
exactly,
Yep,
exactly.
Yep. All right, Monday through Friday, 8 to 4, you can come up and see
we're
you?
we're actually 9 to 6 Monday through Thursday, 9 to 4 on Friday, and 9 to 1 on Saturday up there.
There you go. I tell you what, it's Jeff Kolish from Precise Auto Racing. All right, we got another person. Look who's in the house right here. It's none other than Lieutenant Dan. Lieutenant Dan, are you done shrimping?
Yep, I am there, buddy.
Oh, see, I'm not Bubba Gump. I'm Buddy Ray Bubba Gump, whatever. So, Lieutenant Dan, so what are you doing at the World of Wheels?
I don't know. I thought I'd come down and see what your new car looked like here.
I ain't got no new car.
Oh,
I just polished
New
a
wrap?
turd. New wrap. So what do you think of them, though?
looks good.
Looks good.
Yep.
Well, thanks. You know, we try the best. You know, I kind of consider myself the fastest go nowhere B mod racer. If you can't look fast, might as well look fast. So, you know, I'm not as fast as
Kinda
you.
like me.
Oh no, you're faster than me. So, what's your winter been up to?
Bought the building that the repair shop, so that's taken a lot of my time and money.
So we got Lieutenant Dan Motorsports now.
Yep.
Oh, really? So is Amanda gonna be like a deputy sheriff in charge or something?
She already is.
That is one person that you do not want stuffing and cuffing you is Amanda Riley. No way. Sean Manning, I feel sorry for you, bud. Good Lord. Friskin has taken it to the word Friskin has gone to a whole new level that this show cannot contain. So how do you like the new building, though?
Yeah, I like it. It's actually, we've been in there for 14 years, so.
Now, that's the
but I
2
just
men in the
don't-
shop.
2 men in a
Yep.
shop.
All right. So is that where the race operation's at?
Yes, it is.
So when you got the new building, did you actually do anything with the race car?
It's getting a new wrap. Stan from Action Signs putting a new wrap
Yep.
on it.
Does great work.
Yeah.
Actually, I think Stan was floating around here somewhere. You know, Stan's like the Moses of racing. He knows anybody and everybody, knows what everybody's doing. I do know I seen him yesterday floating around. I'm pretty sure I saw him today floating around over here. I don't know where he's at. So, what's your plans for 2015?
Well, it looks like I'll just be back at I-80 on Friday nights and one night a week probably.
Oh, so now Jack Prawl, he's too ugly to be on camera, so he's behind the camera. He's going to I-80 Speedway, and of course I'll be back. Give me some speed secrets for ID Speedway.
Try to keep her off the wall coming out of turn 2.
Yeah, I always thought being up near the wall made you faster coming off the corner.
Well, if you can make it through that number 2.
If you make it through the treacherous number 2.
Yeah.
You ever notice that when you come off the number two corner at ID, that the back end almost religiously likes to kick out a little bit towards the wall, but it's only right there. If you come off turn 4, it doesn't really do that. But turn 2, it's like there's a shelf right there. Something in your car just kind of goes, whoop, just kind of like that.
Yeah, it's kind of like Jack and Eagle when he comes out of going into turn 4 there when he doesn't realize the wall's coming up quick on him.
Now, hey, we give Jack Prawl a lot of slack on the show, but Jack Prawl is the only guy I know that's qualified enough to drive under race cars when they're flying through the air. I mean, he's like the Dr. Doolittle. He talks to cars and whatnot. He does all kinds of weird stuff. I mean, I don't know about you, Lieutenant Dan, but I would not be taking speed secrets from Jack Prawl.
Yeah, it's kind of like taking secrets from you, buddy. Same thing.
That's even scarier. Well, I tell you what do you think of the World Wheels so far?
I like it down here. It's always good. I've had my cars in it a few years back and stuff, and a lot of good people come down here, and it's good for our relationships with public on the dirt track racing. So,
let's your car real quick. You run a Shaw or a GRT?
I've got a 2014 Shaw.
Okay, I didn't know if you still had that car or not.
Yep,
Any major updates to the Shaw this year?
No, they've got some new stuff in the works, more for the USMTS guys, but
you're never going to go to USMTS?
No, I don't have the money like you do.
Oh, I'm
not on the air all the time.
I ain't got 2 nickels to rub together or a pot to put them in. Are you kidding me? You're Lieutenant Dan.
I know, but that's because I'm in Bennington.
Well, that could be.
2 men in a shop. Let's put a plug in here.
Yeah, 2 men in a shop.
Best repair shop in Northwest Omaha.
Yep, and whatever you do, pay your bill because Deputy Amanda Riley will come after you. So, all righty, well, I appreciate it, Lieutenant Dan.
Boy, oh boy, Jack, John, is that an air cleaner? I mean, I couldn't, when I was asking him that, and he goes, I don't know, is that an air cleaner? In what country? Poland?
Yeah.
Does it look like a Polish air cleaner?
You don't know John. John is actually part of my racing crew, which is funny. We call him the cheerleader because of that stuff right there. He's the guy that will pick up the wrenches, make sure the car doesn't fall on anybody, and then you're looking for the wrench, and he's already put it back in the toolbox. He's one of those kind of guys.
The only reason why I went back to the toolbox is to mix up some rum and cokes and some toddies.
That's after the race. Come on now.
Well, but you put the wrenches back in the toolbox after the race. So.
Yeah. JP4, he gets a little annoyed sometimes when his tools disappear, but you got to understand too, John owns his own software company.
Says a lot right there.
He's a race car driver, not a race car fixer, but he's a great guy and he's very knowledgeable. And
but he's really good on a computer game.
Oh, he fixes all my computer stuff.
Yeah.
So he's my best bud, so he did good.
Yep, I got to tell you what, Lieutenant Dan. Now, Lieutenant Dan here.
That was not fair.
He had no idea what we were doing. I just pulled him off the side and was like, hey, I want to talk to you. And he was really nice. I can tell you what, he's got really, he's really, seriously.
Hey, paybacks.
Paybacks, yep. So, Lieutenant Dan was really, really good. And then Precise.
Yeah, Precise. Well, you and Dan threw me under the bus. I mean, you got to understand I'm behind the camera, so I cannot retaliate where I can right now. So, I'm going to. And Dan was good. He's still mad because I beat him in the 2006 Nebraska Cup. I told him I'd follow him and I passed him in the first corner. He never saw me again. So.
And Amanda Riley, I truly do. Amanda Riley, Sean Manning, I had to make a special mention, shout out to you guys during the Lieutenant Dan interview. So, right, love you guys.
And at Precise, we spent a lot of time in their trailer talking about the products. They're new coming into the Omaha market.
Nice group of guys.
They were
really,
great.
Really laid back. They were more than welcome to, or more than open to talking to us about anything and everything in the modified, especially in the modified market.
Right.
It was kind of funny when they're like, these are the weirdest looking cars we've ever seen.
They didn't even really realize that we ran G60 tires where they're from out of Pittsburgh. They're not used to those type of tires.
They've got a Precise in Wichita and I believe down in Texas, And that was a Lernerville parts trailer out of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Right.
And so those guys weren't familiar with this market, and the guys that are familiar with this market, or with this market, I didn't talk to them until that Sunday at the World of Wheels. But still, they had a lot to learn. So look forward to possibly doing something with them here on Slingin Dirt. So
yeah, and you will be seeing them at probably Eagle. I think they're doing the parts trailer at Eagle. So one thing they did mention to us, if you're going to go to the track, they're new there, so it's going to be a new experience. They seem like real flexible people, but make sure you have a credit card on file with them, so if you get in a wreck and you need parts, you can do it fast.
They'll do more.
They'll work with you.
Yeah, not a
They
problem.
seem like really willing guys to work with everybody. So.
Absolutely.
And overall, as World of Wheels, it was a long 3 days. I don't know how many, probably thousands of kids we shoved in race cars, because it was the only car at the whole show that the kids could actually interact with, and when they get in one of those cars, they think it's a spaceship.
Oh yeah, they've got all the buttons and the bells.
And then Johnny Bright, he volunteered to have his car be the one that we put kids in, and his is the autism awareness car.
Yep.
And it was really cool to see Johnny interact with some of the kids that came up because they were autistic. And
Yeah, that was
interacted
really
with them.
yeah.
And it was a really nice experience, and he actually let the autistic kids sign his car. So
We actually, with Joe's karting, Jesse Saab and Luke Cochran, members of Joe's karting, they took first place in the track comp modified. Johnny took second. My Dirt Works took third. And then ours, I'm like fourth or fifth or whatever. But hey, regardless, we had another guy right next to us, that little white Scion, I think it is. He actually took second in his class. He was a member of Joe, so I tell you what, great showing at the World Wheels for the Joe's karting folks. Everybody
Yeah,
finished
Shaylee
up high.
Bates took
Shaylee
first
Bates,
class.
she's yep. She actually took first place and Horizon Award winner, Young Horizon Award winner, some Rising Star type plaque. She took that also. So all around, a lot of the people that took home plaques and awards were from Joe's karting members. So kudos to you guys. I've always said if I can't go fast, I might as well look fast. So
apparently I didn't look either.
Yep. So I tell you what, before we go into somebody called by the name of Jamie Songer, let's take a break. We'll go see maybe one of our sponsors, and we'll come back and we'll do Songer Sets.
Would you like to see your ad right here on Slingin Dirt TV? You need money, we need money. So if you want to sponsor an ad on Slingin Dirt TV,
email me at buddyj@joeskarting.com. It's BUDDY, letter J at joeskarting.com, karting with a K. Gain some traction, become a winner by putting your sponsorship right here.
Well, let's get right to it. The president and founder of the Todd Cooney Fan Club, Jamie Songer, with Songer Sets.
Okay, so today we're going to talk sponsorships, and I hope you can hear me because I sponsored someone a truck to go to Abilene, Texas today, and they gave me this noisy, completely dash lit up. Every light in the house is on this dash, so it's a little noisy in here, but I hope this works. So we're going to talk about sponsors and sponsorships. First off, we're going to address all you people thinking you deserve sponsors. I am a sponsor. I'm also a racer looking for sponsors. So there's certain things you have to ask yourself. The first thing is, none of you, not a single one of you, I don't care if you're a 30-time national champ, won 4,000 races, the sun rises and sets where you set, it doesn't matter. You do not deserve anything. You earn a sponsorship. Some might think it's through wins, some might think it's through character, others might think it's what you do for others. I have certain things that I think a sponsor should be. First off, you guys, I don't get it, nobody sponsors me,
They sponsored this guy and that guy, and why don't they sponsor me? Shut the hell up, you whiny. There's a place for you in a sport for your whiny ass. It's called girls basketball. Go play it. Quit trying to be a race car driver, you little whiny bitches. Go out and get it. Go out and get after it. Go out and grab what you want. Oh, I'm so bad. Me and my girlfriend are never gonna get married. She doesn't like it. I live at the bar and I screw around. See, that's another whiny thing. That's what you sound like when I deserve this sponsorship. You don't deserve shit. You earn it. So go out and earn it. First off, what do you do for the racing industry? Are you one of these guys that's on the post every night? This guy ran into me and he sucks, and everybody on the track's a big ass and a piece of shit, and they can't drive. I don't even know why IMCA gave him a license. Or, this car never works, I can't get it right, I fight it all the time, it's the biggest piece of crap I ever... Nobody wants to sponsor that. Absolutely nobody. Especially the poor guy who built the car. Are you kidding me? And if you're bitching about that one, the other guy don't want you in his car. Why would he? Or, hey, I noticed that this guy's getting a free ride from this chassis builder. Well, if you look on his Facebook page and any of his interviews or comments he does, he brags the car up, the builder. He brags up all the technical help he gets and all that. I mean, I'm guaranteeing you the Gustons are down there helping out IROC and doing the IROC chassis deal. They ain't gonna put some guy in that's gonna bitch about their car. They're gonna put a guy in there that's gonna help them discover what they can improve in that car by calmly having conversations with them each time they race. So if you can't have a calm conversation, you're out. Second off, what do you do for the sport? What do you do to help people? You know, are you out there trying to raise money for charities? Or are you out there trying to promote tracks? Or, you know, or the guys who sit around and bitch about their sanctioning body nonstop. I mean, if you don't like the sanctioning body, start your own, you know? I mean, I'd love to have Songer's CA, but it ain't gonna happen. I ain't got the brains, I ain't got the money. You know what? IMCA, NASCAR, they've all done something great. USRA, you know, they went out, went after it, took some chances. Some have been good, some have been bad. But we all choose who we race for. So quit bitching about it. Quit bitching about them doing this and quit bitching about them doing that. If you got a problem, send an email. They all got emails. You know, if you're trying to embarrass somebody normally by a Facebook post, the only jackass you're embarrassing is yourself. Second off, as sponsors, I mean, what do we look for in someone we're sponsoring? Me, I have 3 different kinds of sponsorships. I have the friend sponsor, I have the quality sponsor with wins and such, and I have the it's a good guy sponsor. A lot of these guys I sponsor in the group I started out with were friends, and they helped me build a car. I'm telling you, the only reason I'm in a hobby stock is because John Watson and Shannon Anderson had a bet that they could make a retard fast. I'm still not fast, but I'm in the top 5 most nights, and it's because of what they did. It sure ain't this retard's driving ability. My God, I drove back in the early 90s, and I'm pretty sure Doug Whirl, all those guys, John Garrison, the Baker brothers, all them guys will tell you how terrible I was. And now I'm in quality stuff, and I'm pretty decent. I'm not great, but I'm decent. You know, and I can only get better with their help. It ain't me that's gonna get better. So, you know, those are my friend sponsors. Those are the guys that I know that if I do something, I sponsor them. If I need something, you know, they're gonna help me put my car together. I can do the weekly maintenance, get the car to the track every week, and I sure as the hell can't build one. I bent the aluminum one time for the bottom of my hobby stock. I think I went through 15 sheets of aluminum. Maybe not that many, but I went through a lot. I'm the only guy who ever built a doghouse and ended up circular, and it was supposed to be square. Second off, you got the qualities. You know, the guys who win all the time. You know, it's great having my name on a Shannon Anderson or a Jeff Anderson or a Jimmy Guston or some of those guys. I mean, I'm on Jimmy Guston's car. I'm not. My daughter is, because she likes Jimmy. And he shows her respect. And that's why we sponsor, or she sponsors, Jimmy. So, you know, there's those guys with quality wins and some character. You know, you could win 1,000 races, and if you're a piece of crap to everybody, I'm not on your car. The last one is character sponsors. I have guys call me all the time. Hey, we're looking for sponsors. You know what? I take my hat off to anybody that contacts anybody and asks for sponsors, because that's the first battle. Not whining about it, going out and seeing what you can't find. And you go out and ask for it, because they're not going to just give it to you. And if you're a whiny little bitch, you ain't getting nothing. So a guy calls me and asks me for a sponsorship. Well, if I'm interested and I seem to like the guy or hear good things about him, that's the next thing I do. I find out, what's he like with the other racers? Do they like him? Do they hate him? Is he bitching about him every week? Are they bitching about him? You know, I don't need a guy who wins every night, but I don't need a guy who puts people in the wall every night. That's not good. Because let's be honest, I landscape, and not a lot of people who race need my services. Some do, some don't. But through Facebook and all my other counteractions and trailers going down the interstate and other stuff, I get a few jobs a year out of the sponsorships I get. Word of mouth and all that. That's great. I never sell a job by what goes around the circle. That's not me. That's car builders and parts stores and all that stuff. You know, but I call and find out, you know, what kind of guy is he? Do people like him at the track? Is he always in a fight? Do promoters hate him? Do they cringe when he comes to their track? Or, you know, I look and see, has he ever been involved in any charities? You know, I participate in a lot of charities and try and help raise a lot of money, and I donate a lot of money. But that's because that's what I want to do. I like doing that. I like helping people out. And therefore, that's the same kind of guy I'm looking for. Somebody who goes out and does things for others, not just thinks he deserves. So, you guys who are out there looking for sponsors, first you gotta be a class act, or at least a decent guy. Second, you gotta be decent, slightly talented. And third, you can't be bashing everybody on the internet. It's not gonna work. So, in closing, all you jackasses keep being jackasses, and all you good guys, trust me, you'll get what you're looking for.
All right, we're back with what I think this is going to be an incredibly popular segment every week. You've seen the questions, I've seen the questions. Everybody's sending really good questions in. It's the fan of the week.
Yep, and we've had a lot of people sending in some questions. So who do we have this week, I guess?
This week it's going to be Anthony Ainsley. Now, for those of you that don't know who Anthony Ainsley is, you will get to know him on the show here on Slingin Dirt TV. He's actually the pit reporter for ID Speedway and the SLMR Late Model Series track announcer when they go from track to track. He's a young kid. He's doing a journalism major at a UNL.
Yep, pretty bright kid. I mean, he does his own radio show.
Does his own radio show and everything. In the summertime, look for him to be up here. I do know he's going to travel up here. We might do some phone-in interviews, but I know he's going to be coming up here and sitting in the studio with us, so he's all excited. So here's the question this week. I wonder how much preparation must a driver do to get ready for a weekend, or for a racing weekend that is 3 days or longer. And just like a car coming out of the high side at Eagle Raceway, I just got blasted. Okay, well, Anthony, here's the deal, and for everybody else. For the fan of the week, seeing how we used your question, you're gonna get a driver's t-shirt, and I just happen to have this in my truck. So, Anthony, you are the recipient of a Buddy Ray t-shirt. So, you ain't got no t-shirts yet, do you?
Nope.
Yeah, when you get to be diva status like that.
Once I'm famous from this show, I can afford it, maybe. I still don't get a coffee cup.
Well, and trust me, folks, this is empty. There ain't nothing in that either. So anyways, you know, that's a really good question from Anthony. How much preparation do we have to do for a 3-day weekend? Now, I'm trying to remember, because in the last couple, 2-3 years, you raced Eagle one night a week.
Right.
You're not one to go out and spend a lot of hoopla, hundreds of thousands of dollars racing a 2 or 3 day show.
No, I can't, you know, just with our job and what we've got going,
Yep.
it's just impossible. Although we do sneak off to like Osceola or something like that.
Yep.
Once or twice if we got free weekends, we can.
And even then, if we go to Osceola, which is in Clark County Speedway over in Osceola, Iowa, I mean, that's just a late night drive home. I mean, we don't even really stay there. Now, me, on the other hand, I've been to Super National several times. I've done the Corner Strip Classic several times, the Tiny Lund several times. So to answer your question, Anthony, stock up on a lot of alcohol. If you ever want to know, just go to Dylan Smith. That's right, the Osceola Rocket out of Osceola, Nebraska. Dylan Smith, number 95A mod, USMTS mod. Yeah, you'll be covered just fine there. A lot of us Me personally, putting all joking aside, I usually try not to drink a few days beforehand. I try to eat well, sleep good, because I know I'm gonna have a long 3-day weekend. Now, if I go to the Super Nationals, I don't really buy a whole lot because I'm gonna drink and eat pretty near the whole week I'm there. Then you got to look at your spare parts. You go to some of these big year-end specials.
I mean, it
you
doesn't
wanna
matter whether
be
you're a
stocked.
weekly racer or you're going on a 3-day weekend. First thing you got to do is make sure the car's right.
You gotta
You
get
got
the
all
cars
your
right.
all your tools with you, jacks and stands and all that stuff.
Yep.
And then you got to make sure you got the spare parts, the stuff that you know that you're probably not going to find on the parts trailer. You know, transmission.
You basically prepare the same way you do for a weekly show, but in overdrive. So I know like Mama Prom. Oh man, do I love Mama Prom.
I like it too.
Yeah, oh, you better. So when you go to Eagle Raceway and it's 95 degrees out, Mama Prom, I've seen it where it's been cold and she'll have like a hot soup or something warm to eat, but I've also seen it 95 degrees out. And Mama Prom in racing, for those of you that don't know Jack's why, makes the most delicious, out of this world, undescribable pickle wraps. I will sit there. I remember one night,
They're pretty addictive.
she walks around the trailer, and I was like, "Oh my God, I'm eating all your pickle wraps." And she was laughing because I thought she was going to yell at me. And I was like, she goes, "That's Jack's supper." And I was like, "Oh man, I'm fine. I'll
Yeah.
just keep eating them."
No, she knows the rule at the track is she tells everybody just leave one sandwich for Jack because I don't eat before the races. I don't eat until
Yep.
everything's all said and done. Then I'll eat and have a nice toddy and stuff after the races and
Yep.
sit around and talk with everybody. But she knows to save me one. Everything other than that, fair game.
So when we look at, prepping for a long race weekend, is it going to be hot? If it's hot, snack, stock up, I should
Lots of
say.
water.
Lots of water, lots of cool foods. Later in the year, you're going to the McCool 100. You're going to, I think it's called September Fest over there in Beatrice. You've got the Cornerstone Classic, the Tiny Line. It's cooler at night. Everybody's going to have alcohol anyways. That's what we do after the races. But stock up on some soups, some hot sandwiches, stuff like that. Make sure your car's right. Make sure you bring an extra change of clothes. You're gonna need them. A towel and a bar of soap. Most of these tracks have showers. Please use them. There ain't nothing more odd than going to Boone Super Nationals for 7 days and 50,000 people that have not taken a shower in 80-degree heat for a week. That is a stench.
And another thing you got to make sure of, and this even goes beyond the weekly stuff, is first aid kits.
For all,
You're gonna need it no matter what.
Absolutely. If you get
Motrin,
burned,
Tylenol.
Motrin, Tylenol, Band-Aids, gauze, Bud Light, pickle wraps, you're set. So, Anthony, good question. Folks, if you have these questions, email me at buddyj, B-U-D-D-Y, letter J, at joeskarting.com, and it's karting with a K. If we pick your question, you will win a driver's t-shirt. And guess what?
Yeah, big news.
Big news! So, yeah, we still haven't made a lot of money on the show yet, but the area tracks have come forward, and we have weekly tickets. So when you open up these shirts, we get them to you, you're going to have all kinds of weekly racing tickets from various tracks.
Say we got tickets from Eagle.
We got tickets from
I-80,
Eagle, I-80,
Beatrice.
Beatrice, and then Speedway Motors. We have a bunch of tickets for the Speedy Bill Memorial Race at I-80 Speedway later on in the year. So, and there's liable to be races from Joe's Karting in there. So you're going to have an entire. You're not just getting the shirt. You're getting a lot of races. You can go anywhere in the Midwest per near and get the races. And I even think Knoxville might be.
Yeah, Knoxville. We did talk to the
we
Knoxville
did
guys
talk
too
to-
at the
yeah.
World of Wheels, so they might be throwing together some stuff for us too.
Absolutely.
But big thing is make sure you send your picture along with your questions. So we
Yep,
can put you up
yeah,
on the
we want
screen.
your picture. I want to know who you
Who
are. Where do you like to watch races, stuff like that. So, once again, Buddy J at joeskarting.com. You'll be a fan of the week, and you might be winning some swag in races.
Well, with that said, my friend, I think that's the end of the show. So, till
Yep.
next week, you guys, let's keep slinging some dirt.